Welcome back, all you beautiful people, to Prison Architect. Okay, if you guys saw my last video, you guys saw that I completely fucked everything up. Had no fucking clue how to build a goddamn prison. So, in this video, we're just gonna do the campaign. It says that I've already unlocked 2 of 5 of the campaign. That's because I did the first part of the campaign, not realizing that that was the campaign. I thought it was part of maybe the tutorial. Don't ask, I'm fucking stupid and don't know what the hell I'm doing half the time. So, we're gonna go back to the first campaign mission, and we're gonna play through the campaign together until I can figure out what the fuck I'm doing on building the prison completely. So, let's get started with the first one. It's called Death Row. We've been contracted to build an execution chamber at this prison in time for the scheduled execution for one of the inmates. Alright, so if you guys don't know what this game is, and if you guys didn't see my last video, please go check it out. But this is a simulator of being an architect for a prison. You build prisons, you have to try to solve different problems and stuff. The inmates can cause trouble, they can start riots, they can try to break free, they can dig tunnels, and you have to try to find all this stuff. You have to get rid of contraband and try to make your prison run as smoothly as possible. Think about it as almost like The Sims, but prison. So, like I stated in the last part, my first video I completely fucked everything over. I tried to build a prison, built it way too big for its own good starting out, ran out of money, stuff wasn't working, prisoners got left outside. So that's why we're doing the campaign today. Alright, so the CEO's calling me, but as you can see, this is the whole area. If you're playing the building part, you get to build on. And you have to build rooms like such as cells, canteens, showers, kitchens. And I'm just gonna answer this phone because this guy's fucking annoying. This is a tough one. There's a prisoner incarcerated at the facility who's been convicted of double murder and sentenced to death. That's where we come in. We've been contracted to construct an execution chamber in time for the guy's big day. You make that sound like that's a fucking good thing. Alright. This is where I want the new facility to be built. Well, I want to build it wherever the fuck I want to build it. I'm the contractor. The first step with any project like this is to construct the building itself with enough space inside to fit an execution room and a holding cell. So let's get started to construct a new building here. We will also need an entrance to the new execution facility. You don't fucking say. Build a large jail door in the south wall. Foundations, we want to build it brick or concrete? Concrete. Alright. Then, objects, large door. I'm not even done planning yet. Quit fucking calling me. Jesus Christ. Alright, objects. You can call. Your workmen are responsible for the construction of buildings. They'll collect the steel and concrete from the storeroom and take it to the construction site. They'll use those raw materials to build the foundation and framework of your new building. This is the slowest part of the construction, so you should plan ahead when building a new facility. While we wait, look around with WASD or the arrow keys to move around and use the mouse wheel to zoom in and out. Okay, so back to what I was saying before. You have to build like showers, multiple cells, because up here it says there's 45 of 51 inmates. So we have a capacity of, I would assume, 51. And yeah, maximum safe capacity is 51. And we have 45 people in here. This is our cash flow. Our building's done. Damn, that was quick. I was talking. Inside the building, I want to sell in an execution room. Partition the space by constructing some brick walls. Hang on. Alright, and then here's the cash flow. So we make $9,750 a day, and we spend $6,873 a day, so we make a profit of $2,877 a day. So then you have your offices, and you actually, I can't show you now because it's not going to let me, you have to power it and watch your power supply, and then put more capacitors, stuff starts to run out. It turns almost into a damn puzzle game by the end of it. So now we have to make separating walls for the individual rooms. Go ahead and do that. And then you can actually hire guards and then designate them for certain spots. So I can like take this guard and I can actually fire him. But you can make him to where he patrols this area and this area alone. You can make him search cells. You have kitchen workers. You can actually run cold and hot water and stuff. And not in this, I don't think, but in the actual building prison mode, I think there was recently an update where you can play as the warden while you're building the place, and you can also control prisoners, I think. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm still looking into that to figure it out. But if so, that will be cool as shit to be able to do. Now at a large jail door to see those dividing walls. You can rotate an object before placing it by clicking the middle mouse button or press R. Alright, get a large cell door. Alrighty. And you can also speed up time, which we're going to do now because no point in waiting for absolutely ever for 2 fucking doors. Alright. Once he leaves, we should, yep. It's looking good. We now need to designate rooms within those spaces. Designate a cell in the small area where you condemned inmates will live. Then designate the execution room itself in the larger area. So here's back to what I was telling you, like you have to designate stuff. So you go to rooms, cell, and then you highlight the whole area that you want to be a cell, and now it's a cell. Execution room, execution room. And then you'll get this little exclamation mark error. Why every time I'm talking? You are the most rudest motherfucker ever. Those new rooms have requirements before they can become functional. The cell needs a bed and a toilet. The execution room requires an electric chair. You don't say. Alright, so you get these exclamation marks, and if you could see, it says passed, it's indoors, and it's failed because there's no electric chair. So each room actually has its requirements before you can classify as an execution room or a cell. So this one needs a bed, so we'll go ahead and get a bed out. A toilet, we'll go ahead and turn it around so it's facing the wall. And we'll go ahead and put an electric chair down and speed up time again. There is, I don't see it on this, but you can also make like visitation rooms and stuff like that. So we can go here actually. There's chapels, staff rooms, there's visitation, common rooms, security offices. Oh, shut up. That's the essentials taken care of, but there's still a few improvements you could make. It's up to you, though. They're not strictly required. It depends on how much you care about your prisoners and their environment. Which also, by the way, I'm going to go ahead and talk about, even though he's rambling in the background. Prisoners, they care about the place. If it looks like complete shit and stuff is not organized, taken care of, there's not stuff to do, the inmates will get very upset, which then in turn causes them to riot. So most prisons, you know, they don't have a bunch of stuff to do, and you can go about it however you want, But it's better to put more TVs, more sports stuff, more room, more free time, everything, so they have more stuff to do to keep themselves busy so they don't sit around and get bored. Think of ways to escape, make weapons, find ways to get contraband, cause riots, kill guards, whatever. Oh, we'll go back to seeing what this fuck wants. The cell itself could be improved with an outward-facing window and a small bookshelf. So yeah, you can add bookshelves so they don't get bored. And windows so they don't go crazy being isolated. And the facility would look better with a higher quality floor material like wooden floorboards or mosaic tiles, but they cost more, so we're just going to leave it as it is. Outside you can add some livings and pave a pathway if you think it needs it. And here is our death row inmate and the priest. This is the man in question, Edward Romsey, a teacher once, would you believe? It's not our place to decide if he deserves this. The law has made this decision. We're just here to do a job. Once you are satisfied the facility is ready, you can begin the prisoner's transfer to his new cell. Simply click on the Polaroid in the cell to... That was the most creepiest fucking laugh ever. Okay. Simply click on the Polaroid in his cell to initiate the transfer. I'm trying to see if the laugh will happen again. Hang on. Oh, okay. And there's actual Polaroids, which is kind of nice that the developers added, so when you click them, it gives you more of like a representation of what the prisoner looks like and so on and so forth. The chief. See, so that's kind of what he looks like. Instead of being like this, you can get more of like a photo representation of what he would look like. Don't shed one tear for this guy. He's a stone cold killer. Quality. Guilty as charged. Quality? What? Do I even fucking English? He even confessed. Want to hear his description of what he did? Not really, but I guess you're going to tell me anyway. It's juicy stuff. It was around 11 p.m. The lights were already on. I knew she was home. Why do I need this deep of detail? You could just tell me what he did. Alright. I'm going to go quiet here, guys, for a minute, just so you can kind of watch the cinematic. Edward, I knew I'd catch you two here. Edward, don't. Just don't. What are you gonna do? I love how she died perfectly with her arm covering his dick. Alright, now we're back. Clear as day if you ask me. Deserves every volt he's gonna get. All men deserve forgiveness, even him. Are you so sure in yourself that you can deal out such final judgment? Catching your wife with another man is no excuse for what he did. Well, have you ever caught your wife with another man? You can't really judge what happened if it hasn't happened to you. And he went there with a loaded gun knowing he'd find them together. That's double premeditated murder. Well, not exactly. Maybe he actually has a license to carry a gun that's loaded. And it was just a spur of the moment. He was blindsided because he was so pissed. You are a dick cop. He's done nothing but cooperate with authorities. The state is making an example of him. See? He gets it. He knows the man probably just fucked up and didn't mean to because he wasn't thinking. If he committed his crime 100 miles north, he'd be looking at life imprisonment instead. How is that justice? Do you want a guy like this running free? I'll sleep just fine at night when he's gone. He just said he'd face life imprisonment. He's not gonna be fucking free. Are you a dumbass? This guy again. Good work so far. However, there is one problem. The execution room isn't fully functional yet because it doesn't have any power. We need to connect it to the electrical supply. Okay, so here's what I was talking about. You can actually see the electrical grid and how everything's connected to all the lights and everything, which is wonderful. It's phenomenal that they went into this much detail, because they could have left it as you built it. No, it randomly all has power, but they're actually like, no, you're gonna have to wire it and pay for it, and the more wire you have, the more costs, and like cost per day for electricity and everything. It's very well built. I will also, like always with games, I will leave a link for it in the description if you want to play it. I suggest you pay for it and play it, because it's very well built. The developers are wonderful people. And actually there's a couple cool perks when you buy it on Steam. If you pay a little bit more, I think it's like 10 to 20 bucks more, you can actually create a prisoner and have its own bios and stuff. So it's technically like, you can make it like some random person, or you can actually make it yourself. So it'd be like you're in a prison and then you could try to escape, or you could try to be the good prisoner, or whatever you want to do. It's cool. The developers need way more credit for this game than what they really deserve. We are now viewing the prison in utility mode, which shows us the electrical wiring layout of the entire prison. Each building in the prison is connected to the power grid by these thick underground electrical cables, as shown here. Power is provided to the prison by this substation, which draws electricity from the national grid. Dead? Well, why does someone not get... What? As I could see, you can't see that there's a dead guy. As you can see, the entire wing of this prison is without power. All the lights are out. To fix the problem, we first need to switch into utilities mode to understand why the lights are without power. Because you don't have enough wiring. New electric cables are too far away. Engineers can't complete the wiring for this area. Extend the electrical cable nearby to cover this wing of the prison. Alright, utilities, electric cable. We're just going to go ahead and go here and down. Got here, over, and then down through all of here, because we're going to need power to these parts too. So, see deaths today. Why is there people dying in my prison already? What the fuck? Did he fucking explode? What the fuck happened? So apparently if you die in a prison cell, you just randomly explode. Wonderful. Stay in school, kids. Don't do drugs, or you might explode in prison. Yep. Life's lessons. Alright, let's see. Watch them. Who's this guy? Cole Taz Tierney. brought up. Sentenced to 50 years for multiple crimes, including murder and murder. So why is this guy not on death row? Huh? Huh? Okay, but yeah, so you can put him on maximum security, supermax, so on and so forth. You can actually search the prisoner. You can cell search, cell block, and you can punish him by locking him down for 6 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, solitary, and all that if he does something bad. Would you shut up? I know. Lights aren't the only thing that needs power, as your new electrical chair does. Use power cables to connect the execution. Yep, already done all this. The electric chair itself is a special type of electrical item. It requires own dedicated power line. You'll need to connect it up directly with the main cables. I think I did, didn't I? Yeah. We're almost done. I think we should test out the new execution. Alright. Okay, here's a good thing to see. Well, that didn't work. Looks like we drew too much power and tripped the circuit breaker in the power station. The whole prison is dark. Okay, if you guys notice this little black line, it'll be filled with red. If it's all the way at the top, you don't have enough power. Like, this can't sustain enough power, so you need to put more of these capacitors down. So the lower it is, the better. We're going to need more juice to be able to handle the power spike that the electrical chair generates. First, we need to turn the power back on. This is a two-step process. Switch the power station back on by clicking on it and selecting switch on in the main menu that appears. Then build 3 more capacitors so there's enough power capacity to handle the electrical chair. Once you've done that, test the electrical chair again by clicking on it and selecting switch on in the main menu. Well, you know, we're going to do this correctly. We're going to do capacitors first so we don't electrocute the fucking shit out of ourselves when we turn this back on. So we're going to speed this up. While that's going on, I guess we can look at some of the other inmates and see what they've done. What's Moon done? Paul Moon. Sentenced to 6 years for rioting. Alrighty. Kenway. Sentenced to 13 years for multiple crimes, including violent disorder, perjury, and pre-jury. Duncan Leather. Sentenced to 5 years for aggravated violent theft. Served 0.2 years out of 5 years. Alright, now we can turn this back on in just a second. 3, 2, 1. Turn it back on. Okay, see, so now it's not even. It's about half. It's a little under half. So now, we can go over here, click the electrical chair, and switch it on. By the way, this game looks nice. It's like everything is crisp. Designing. Alright. Well done. I believe we are finished with this job. What happens now is out of our hands. We did a professional job, and that's important in our business. Try not to worry about what happens next. I'm going to go silent again here, guys, so you can watch the cinematic. Can I help you? Dun, dun, dun. Are you looking for forgiveness? I don't know. I have to do something. I can't live with the things I've done. You have to turn yourself in. Whatever you've done, you cannot evade the consequences. You will never be able to live with yourself until you face up to your past. I want to go back. I want to forgive her. I want her to forgive me. God will forgive you no matter what you have done, if you ask Him to. But you must answer for your crimes in the eyes of the law. There is no other way. It's time, Edward. You have done the right thing, even though this world will not forgive you for it. You will be with God soon, and He will have the final judgment on you. Dun dun dun. So, this is pretty much the end of the first part of the chapter. So, we'll continue on through this, and we'll watch the cinematic in the background. But I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it in a minute. There it is. Edward Ramsey, you have been found guilty on 2 counts of murder in the 1st degree. The penalty is death. Do you have anything to say? Is the executioner mask really necessary? I mean, he's already seen your face how many times? Susan, I'm sorry. So, alright, I got a question for everybody. If you were found guilty for whatever, and had the choice of being locked up in prison. Actually, hang on. We're going to go back to the main menu and then we'll go ahead and skip that real quick. Alright, so if you guys had a choice and were sentenced to prison for whatever reason and were sentenced to death or life in prison, which one would you guys choose and why? So, I'm going to let you guys write that down in the comments. And I'm going to end it here. I know I skipped the other part. I will restart chapter 2 so we can see what he says and all that stuff. But that'll be for the next video. So, thank you guys for watching, and I will see all you dudes in the next video.